There I am.
No, hi Michelle. Wow,
Hi.
nice to see you. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Look at
Wow.
you. I feel like I've known you forever.
I mean, it's been a few months. I looked back. It was July that you joined, right? So that's been a few months, not forever, but
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that same thing and it was like, oh my God. I remember that first phone call and I was like, I just gave my credit card to some guy on the phone.
yep.
What have I done?
What have you done? Big mistake or was it not a mistake?
No, it was honestly, oh my God. I can't even tell you. Like, I wish I had met you 10 years ago. You would have been 16, but
Yep.
I'm sure you still at that point would have known more about the stock market than I.
Well, thank you, Michelle. That's very, very kind. I don't know if I would have known as much at 16, but
More than me, I can tell you. But the thing is that honestly, uh, oh my God, I can't even tell you. Like, I can't even tell you.
well, hey, I'm glad that you decided to take the time here. And yeah, I guess like you've seen a couple of other spotlights, Michelle, and this is really just a chance to kind of talk and learn more about you. And hey, you can feel free to tell me kind of what you want, but that's very, very kind way to start things off. I'm
You people are doing God's work.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, hey, we're all glad. I say on behalf of the team that we met you, and from the first time, I can take these off because it's not working.
Okay.
From when we spoke back in July, like I knew from the moment we talked that this was just going to be a great program for you, and I guess so far so good, eh?
Honestly, like I have been in programs like this where it's kind of the same format.
Yeah.
There's a Facebook group and there's a either a Discord or a Slack or whatever, and you pay, your monthly payment or whatever, and you get engaged with all these people. This is the first one where I've kind of gone, oh my God, I really like this group.
No.
Like it didn't taper off
Yeah.
after a month or two. It didn't taper off after I paid the bill. It just got stronger and stronger
Yeah.
because the biggest thing is that you're making people realize that this is actually really simple.
Yeah.
They just have to, and it's basically, you just have to reinforce, you just have to, and I'm in my 50s. I'm like, okay, my brain's tired. I don't want to learn any more new stuff.
No, no, that's
But
great. Yeah.
it's, yeah, like it's amazing. And I really get a kick out of all the young people in the group because they get me totally
Just
charged up.
a lot of energy from them, and you kind of get
Yeah.
off that vibe. Wow. Well,
Yeah, and it's just you teach people that they're perfectly capable of understanding all this stuff that just used to be like white noise on
mhm.
the TV.
Now that
And that's where I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look at all that I'm learning.
and now that you've been through it, it's less overwhelming, you'd say, right?
Yeah, yeah, because what happens is that you almost absorb it by osmosis. Like
Yep.
that
Really
whole
got
in
it.
the last like 1/3 of the course or whatever, you've got this whole 30-minute video about analytics and looking at different ratios and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I realized, okay, yeah, I'm not going to absorb all this in the first go round. So I was actually kind of I think I'd listened to it 3 times yesterday while I was cooking and doing housework. And I'm going, it's eventually going to sink in and it's not going to be one day I'll just wake up and I'll go, oh yeah, dividend ratios and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like it'll be just like a second language.
I was about to say it's very much like a language where you're not going to pick it up at first, but the more you surround yourself with it, it does start to rub off, right?
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's a
Oh
such a I like the osmosis way of explaining it, but that's so cool, Michelle.
yeah.
Well, hey, anyways, I do really appreciate your time today, and I know you could probably be doing a million other things, but thank you for coming here on the video and whatnot. And yeah, this is just like I said, a chance for you to kind of tell your story. I know you're from Winnipeg. I know your background from when we spoke on the phone, and it looks to me like you got some beautiful flowers in the background. But why don't you kind of tell your story a little bit? Yeah, what should people know about Michelle?
Oh my. Okay, so mid 50s, self-employed, single income, which, in today's economy can be a little bit nerve wracking, but I've established a really good little business here. And I'm finally at the point now where I'm making enough money to kind of look at retirement. And that wasn't always the case. It wasn't, put it this way, retirement savings weren't for lack of trying. Sometimes life circumstances just kind of can impact that a little bit. But yeah, I joined the course in July. And at that point, it was kind of an impulse thing. Like I literally came across one. I mean, the first thing I thought was, oh, what a nice young man. Look at him talking about the money and everything. I thought, oh, but you're very personable. And you came across, and more so on the phone call. Like I was like, okay, you know, I could do this, but then I'd really have to follow through with it. Cause like, it's not just kind of a one-time thing. It's not just like a little mini, you know, course. It's a pretty big commitment.
It is.
But I'm so glad I did it. Oh my God. Because like I said before, literally I would go to my financial advisor once a year for my once a year meeting for the investments I did have.
Yeah.
And I'd be nodding and smiling and going, oh yeah, okay, dividends, right? And like, I had no idea what the man was talking about. And I got sick of that. I got sick of not knowing where my money was going, what was being done with it. You know, I just wanted to be able to understand. And I thought, if that's all I get out of this course, then that's amazing. But I got that and like a whole bunch more.
Oh, well, hey, that's good. And I think a lot of people find themselves in that situation where it's like just for their own personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Like their own personal, geez, I can't think of the
skill set, growth.
Yeah, their own skill set, like just for their own knowledge base, they want to just increase that, right? And it's that they can keep up with conversations. And again, it's if you haven't taken the time to learn, like most people, right? If you haven't gone out of your way to learn, how else are you expected to know this? They don't teach us in school. If your parents weren't good with money, you won't know. So you kind of have to go out and figure it out on your own. And then once you kind of tap into that, you know, that second language, let's call it, you really do. It's a very fun area to be in, at least the way I view it. And again, it's like, as you said, you never stop learning. You know, you're always got to be sharpening the brain, and it's you kind of got to get that foundation in, and then it just improves from there. And I think that's a huge point.
Well, and I'm living proof that it's never too late, because literally, like I said, you know, you own a small business, it's a single income, you're raising a child. Retirement savings kind of got pushed to the back burner. Like I knew I should, but I couldn't, right? And then you get to a point in your life, and usually it's around age 50-ish. Well, all of a sudden you kind of go, oh, okay, I'm behind. I got to get moving. And it's like you just, a bell goes off in your head. And then it's like, if you have the means, and hopefully, you know, most people in their 50s are kind of established in their careers, they can start looking at this stuff. So it's not just, it's never too late. You know, like I did the forecast actually shortly after, and I met your mom and dad. Oh my God. Such nice people.
So funny. I for those that are watching this, like one day you said, we were doing a live session, and you said, I'm in Powell River right now. And I took for a second, I'm like, why would you be in Powell River of all places? And
I know.
And then that's of course where my dad lives. So that's like, so you were just there on vacation or traveling family? Like
I was, because I've been going to Powell River every summer since I was like 16 years old. My big sister lives there. My brother-in-law, turns out they live just up the hill from your parents.
No kidding. Oh,
and so I literally sat with your parents, and I saw the look in their eye when they started talking about what you guys are doing. I saw the look, and I went, oh my God, I'm in good hands. Like I am getting teary-eyed, because they are so proud of you guys. And you can see it and you can feel it. And I thought, you know what, this is a good thing. And at that point, I literally sat down and I forecast my projected savings for retirement. And I actually came up with a plan, a doable plan. And I'm like, oh my God, it's always like you're too terrified to kind of look too much into that. But I'm like, this is totally doable. I just need to stick with the course and follow the lessons I'm learning.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I mean, it goes to show, first of all, like you've got your own business, as you mentioned, you're doing your thing. it's one thing to like know what to do, but it's another thing to actually act on it and do it. And you're kind of displaying that, where once you get the knowledge, hey, now I've got this action plan to follow. Again, not everybody does choose to follow that. Some people can have all the information they want. We say, do this, do this, do this, do this, and they don't have I guess the discipline to go out and do it. But I guess, as you said, sometimes you may be feeling, hey, I got to get snapping with these things. My back's against the wall, and it's like, and that may pressure you. Everyone has their own reasons to do things, but that's really good on you that you were able to do that. And yeah, we're really glad that we're able to facilitate that. I mean, like one thing we always, and I probably told you this on the phone, and as you now know, like the community aspect of what we do is, in my opinion, the biggest value. Obviously, the video training is really the staple, because that's where you're going to learn. But you are involved in our Discord, like you are asking questions every day and replying to other students. Like I said, you went out to go have my dad's backyard and just hanging out. So that's really like, you're a perfect example of how we really do see this as a community.
It's funny because I can hear the ding, and it's like Pavlov's dog. I go running to the computer. It's like, who said what? Okay, what are they saying? What's going on? Like, I'm totally, if I'm not answering, I'm always watching. And it's because there is stuff to learn. Like somebody's always, like I said to one of the people, I don't remember their handle, their name there, but she just said, I'm going to ask a dumb question. And I just said, you know what, there's no dumb questions. And if there are, Brandon's probably made a video about it. So don't, like, this is exactly the place to ask it.
Exactly. That's
how I feel.
That's the perfect answer. It is a safe environment that we're in, because again, it's like everybody, the way we want to look at it is let's just assume you're starting at nothing, right? Let's just not have any ego, like, don't come in thinking like, you know it all. Just the best way to learn is to go from ground zero and to just build. So if someone else has a quote unquote dumb question, I'm very, very confident that someone else is probably thinking the exact same thing and is just shy to ask. Like that's.
Oh yeah. And it sounds like a cliche, but it's totally true. Like I was actually, this past weekend, I spent a couple of hours Googling, dividend ETFs, dividend aristocrat ETFs and whatever. And boom, somebody asks the exact same question this morning.
Everyone's thinking the same thing. Exactly. And I think that like, you're kind of surrounded with like-minded people is really the way of putting it, but that's awesome. So maybe let me ask you a question, Michele, and you don't have to answer if it's too personal and whatnot, but in terms of your investments, so like, you said you had investments with the advisor or with your bank or whoever you were working with. At this point, have you noticed a change in what you're doing? Has, maybe since joining our program, or at least learning with us, are there any new ideas that you've kind of thought, or did you find that you were on the right path? Kind of like, has there been a change at all, or was it more or less just that you realized what you were doing? Maybe share some thoughts there.
I learned more about what was being done with my investments. I did have investments from when I was married. And so those were, lost a chunk in 2008, 2009, of course. So that was kind of devastating. But those mutual funds are in the hands of a really great advisor.
Nice.
And I'm still making monthly contributions to him. When I started your course, I went out with guns blazing and bought a whole bunch of ETFs, like all the iShare ETFs that you're talking about. Bought them all one day, boom. Didn't dollar cost average, I just went in, like I said, both guns blazing, and that was exhilarating. I was like, look at what I did. Oh my God. And so now, because I recognize I have this issue with impulse control, I want to get into stocks, but I'm kind of, I made this stunning realization that I get an extra payday in October. So I'm taking that entire paycheck.
Beautiful.
Plus some other kind of funds that I have. And I'm going to slowly start buying stocks and getting in. So that whole core satellite kind of thing that you're discussing, I want to do that because I'm really interested in the stock market and interested in seeing, what I can accomplish but at the same time, I realize because of my stage in life, I have to be cautious and I can't,
way to go.
Like I was talking about a stock the other day, Pet Value. I love Pet Value. I go in there all the time. I didn't know that they're publicly traded. Oh my God. I would blow all my money on Pet Value stock because I love them so much, but I won't let myself because I know that it's not wise.
Way to go.
So yeah, so I'm kind of doing the core satellite thing. One of the AB
Yeah.
Actually, in the last video, you did made a
Yeah.
suggestion where you have like wealth trade for dividends, or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not for dividends, for shares,
Yep.
and then Quest trade for ETFs.
Beautiful. Yeah. That's what I believe. That's what he said he's doing. And that to me is a very, very, very legitimate way of doing it. That makes total sense.
I know, and I'm totally copying that idea because it's fantastic, right? So
Yeah.
I opened up a wealth simple account
Yeah.
because you can get into the stocks with bigger price tags because they're fractional, right?
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
I may still own Shopify. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
a good one.
goal. That's my goal because my website for my business is on Shopify.
Yeah.
Missed the boat on that one. Oh my God.
It's all good. Like I said, if it's a company that you're absolutely in love with, and I like it, you're drawing like, from the pet value to the Shopify, it's like you're making investing very personalized. It's like, hey, what companies mean something to me? And then from there, you obviously got to do your research. And like you said, maybe it's a little high at the moment, maybe it's not, but yeah, you're very personalized. And yeah, thank you for sharing, by the way, like, what you have going on. I know that's quite personal and some people don't want to share that stuff, but I love it. It sounds to me like you're really getting the plan kind of sorted out. And what I also think is important that what you said there was that you still have a very good advisor that you're working with. And I love that,
Yeah.
right? I love that. And I recall on our phone call, you explained it to me and I said, if you have someone that you trust and someone that's giving you the value that you are looking for,
Mhm.
some people say advisors are bad, you pay high fees. They can be very much warranted if they're doing what you need from them. And like you said, if you have a big chunk of money that's, for whatever reason you have, and maybe you want to let them manage that. Maybe they do provide you the service you want, but then you can
Mhm.
start building a little bit of stocks here, a little bit of ETFs on the side. And that's, I think, where, again, you kind of, that's where you're kind of dialing into.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the last time I checked, mind you, it's been a little bit bumpy lately, the market, but the last time I checked, my funds with him were up like 16%. I'm sure I lost a little bit since then, but you can't even if fees, despite the fees, you can't sneeze at that.
So fair. Yeah, exactly.
And I know he's got my back. So
Exactly. And I love that. Again, my dad was obviously an advisor, so I know that side of the business and I see both sides, but it looks like you're doing a bit of both. One more question, well, on this topic. Do you find the actual interface of doing Wealth Simple and Quest Trade, is it all confusing, being all digital and whatnot, or it's pretty straightforward?
no, it's pretty straightforward. Like I kind of went into it not even doing any of the video other than what you have in the course. I went into it. They blast you with all these emails. Here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. I didn't look at any of that. I get enough emails. I don't need to read more. So I just kind of mucked my way through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I followed what you taught me in the course, and that was enough. I want to get into it more in terms of I've got watch lists and things like that.
How to maximize all the features and whatnot?
Yeah. And because the stockpile of cash is not exactly where I would like it yet,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wait another month or two before I really start getting into all the bells and whistles. But yeah, no, I thought they were easy peasy. Like I said, if I had realized it was that easy, I would have done this years ago.
Yeah.
But at the point at which you make a commitment to the course, it's like, okay, yeah, now I got to see it through, because what's the point of doing the course if you're just going to do it and not reap the benefits of it?
Yeah.
And part of that was just being brave enough to start those Quest Trade and Wealth Simple. And I thought, oh, that's for young people. Oh my God, my brain, and that's the thing is you're, it's, the enthusiasm is contagious to the point where you don't use the excuse, I'm too tired. I got a financial advisor. Like, I never used to get excited about learning new things. I guess because I was always, in my business, and if it wasn't something that really kind of piqued my interest business wise, I didn't have time for it. I don't cook, I don't bake.
Yeah.
I eat most of my meals takeout, because I was trying to reserve all my mental energy for my business. But at this point in my life, this is the first thing that has gotten me stupidly excited.
Wow. I'm so happy to hear that. That's so exciting.
And like literally, I talk to other people my age and they're going, oh, I've got a company pension. And I'm like, okay, but you can still learn. Like that's not the be all end all.
For sure. Wow. Well, that excites me so much to hear that. Like that's I'm so proud. I'm so proud for you that you found something that you have this interest in. And yeah, like there's no better field to slowly and steadily learn than money, in my opinion.
Well,
Very
and
important.
regardless of your walk of life,
Yeah.
everybody in the group, it's your ultimate goal is security in your future.
Yeah.
All have that mutual goal,
That's right. The
right?
destination is the same for everybody. They're maybe starting at different places or different times, but they're all
Yeah.
striving towards the same thing. That's exactly correct.
And as young people, this economy is crap. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you like I grew up in the 80s, the 70s and the 80s. Things were really straightforward back then.
Mm.
Now there's so much going on I really feel for young people. My son's 22.
Mhm.
The housing, everything that like
Yeah. Tell me about it.
employment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's just it's a different ball game. It's completely like the goalposts have completely changed.
Mhm. It sure has.
And
And hey, I'm me, my friend group, we're all in the same boat, especially when you live, in a, here it's much more expensive than where you live, but it is very, very tough. It's very
yeah,
tough.
yeah.
It's
Ironically, I was all set to move to Powell River.
really,
Oh, totally. I was just packing my bags and then my business started making money. I was like,
stick
damn
around
it.
a little longer. Yep. Hey, it's a trade-off, I guess. And
I was
it's,
so annoyed
yeah.
because I really wanted to move to Powell
Business.
River.
Um, yeah, and you like Powell River, like the lifestyle out there. It's so different, right? It's so calm. It's so quiet, and
It is paradise. The
yeah,
Sunshine Coast is totally paradise. Your parents, yeah, they are in like a wonderful place.
they're very happy. I noticed my dad go from, living here my whole life, and he's mad at the traffic, he's mad at all the congestion and people everywhere, and now
Mhm.
it's just like a weight is lifted off his shoulders with the water and everything. He
Oh
loves it.
my God. And they're like, I laughed because the playground that is like right close to their
Yeah,
house,
yeah, I know the one.
I've been taking my grandniece and my grandnephews there like to play.
That's too funny.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
funny.
So Canada's a small country.
Small world for sure. Well,
Yeah.
hey, Michelle, this has just been an absolute blast. And like, we could talk for as long as you want. I'm trying to think of what other questions to ask you. I think for whoever's watching this, like, they're gonna get a very good sense of, man, what a joy. Like, and my dad had glowing things to say about when he sat down with you. And again, I've only spoken to you over the phone. I've never actually. This is the first time seeing you, and it's just like it all makes sense now. From the conversation we had to all of your input in our community. It's just been an absolute blast. Maybe there's one more thing that comes to mind. Um, when when you said you just dove into the program, and you really did, like on our phone call, you said that you only saw my videos one day prior to
Oh,
speak.
like 30 minutes before.
30
Yeah.
minutes before, yeah, like you hadn't been following for a while, and it wasn't like months of watching, which some people are. Some people watch for months or years, and then they say, well, I'm ready for this. You were just go, go, go. And I think, I mean, again, I'm very glad that worked out for you. I think another thing is, like, once you make that commitment in terms of joining a program or whatever it is, your butt's on the hot seat to get it done. Because what's funny is, I'm obviously, for my like high school friends, they say, oh, I want to learn how to invest. I say, here, try my course. You give it to them for free, they will not do it. I can see how much they go through. I can see how much percentage they go through. And it's
Yeah.
inevitable. Like, unless you put yourself in a position to do it, a financial position, a time constraint, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that really encourages people to get moving, really.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think you're a great case of that.
Yeah. And the way I kind of rationalized it at that millisecond where I kind of went, yeah, let's go. I thought to myself, if all I do is make the cost of the course back,
Mhm.
I'll come out of it with so much knowledge,
Mhm.
it'll still be a good thing. So
That-
that was my rationale, kind of going, okay, flip the switch, let's go. But
and
at the same time, it's that and so much more.
Yeah, well, I think that's the best way to look at it. You're looking at it like an investment. I'm going to invest X amount of money, and this is what I'm going to get out of it, right? So that's I think that's the way everybody should look at it. Some people just look at a price tag, and it's like, oh, that's a cost, and I'm never going to make it back. Yeah, it's I
No,
guess.
I've done quite a few of these type of courses, and this, like, I can honestly say this one's different.
Oh, well, Michelle, that makes me so happy, and hey, I'm very proud to hear that. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, what else? What else? What else? Let me think. So you do flowers,
Yeah, I'm a floral designer.
as we can see behind you. That's different.
Yeah, it's really funny because I bought an existing business, and the one thing the pandemic taught me is the traditional business model for a florist
Mm,
is probably the most inefficient business model in existence.
mhm,
Like, you can't go into a butcher and buy a single pork chop. I mean, you could, but you wouldn't, right?
mhm.
So when the pandemic started, I was in Vancouver on March 8th. I came home March 13th. Winnipeg was shut down.
Mm.
And at that point, I'm going, okay, the jig is up. I have no more business. I'm done. I got no backup plan. Oh boy. And then the exact opposite happened. Actually, business started getting busier and
Mm.
busier and busier. And for the floral industry as a whole, across like all over the world, to the point where they can't grow the flowers fast enough now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So at that point, I kind of went, okay, I got to change things. I think I'm going to close to the public. I was planning on closing to the public anyway, and just being like a studio format where you take people by appointment only,
Mm.
because it made me realize that there are certain things that this conventional kind of business model, they don't work anymore. You know, there's no need to have someone in the store from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. if
Mhm.
you've got no walk-in traffic,
Right.
because your neighborhood is bustling and there's no parking. So there was different things that I tweaked to accommodate the curbside pickup. People loved it.
Yeah.
Delivery citywide, always did that.
So
Yeah, like it's
pivot-
amazing.
so
And the business is actually running more efficiently. And my sales are up, I think they were up 30% last year.
oh, way to go. Way to go. And that's just taking what I guess the world gives you. You went more kind of digital, I guess. Is that
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I learned, that's why I want to like Shopify is like,
yeah. Yeah.
well,
That's
there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, there's Wix, there's Shopify, there's, I don't know.
for sure. But yeah, you went through that personally. You've gone through and that's one of their target markets is saying you have your, traditional business here, use us to help do this. And you've seen a perfect case study of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know I have friends who are bakers, and
Like,
they do, custom baking. They all went online. They all set up websites. They're running the same thing more efficiently now than they were before, with
yeah.
just that one
Yeah.
unavoidable kind of change that they had to make.
Yeah. Well, that's good for you and good for your friends, because a lot of people, I mean, no disrespect to them, but a lot of people are so stuck in their ways that a traditional business, let's say someone who's in their 50s, 60s, they say, well, I'm not going to learn the internet. And then they drive their business to the ground because they're not willing to change. Right.
Well, and that, yeah, and it's unfortunate because there are a lot of older business owners in our city doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And not only that, but there's like Teleflora and FTD. And those are Teleflora and FTD are kind of like the nearest comparison I can make is skip the dishes for florists.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So you're trading the quality of your design for the quantity of orders.
Gotcha.
So
Yep.
it's one of those things where you could do it, but the profit margin is a lot smaller. And the pride of workmanship, the pride of artistry is not there, because you're refabricating pictures of designs that people see on the internet. And it's very impersonal. I find it very impersonal. It's very like, you don't get the emotional connection that I have with my clients that all, are within a 20-minute drive, that all have been coming here for generations, because I bought a business that's been in operation since 1940.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So you get very emotionally invested in everything that's going on in your customers' lives, because they come to you for marriages and births and passings, and and they tell you why they're sending flowers, and sometimes they cry and sometimes they're excited, and like you share all that with them.
Experiences are all, yeah, you live through it with them.
And once you get people's trust in what you do, it's huge.
Wow. Well, that's so cool. I mean, I'm seeing within your business, I'm drawing some comparables to what we strive for here, right? It's like
Oh, it's all about trust.
it's all about trust at the end of the day. It
Yeah.
really is. Same as your business out there, any business out there, but especially online. Like, you got people doing it for the wrong reasons, but yeah, just telling that story, I say, yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to emulate here as well at the academy.
Mhm. No, and you have it.
Wow.
Did I tell you? Did I tell? I told you the curb story, right?
The curb story. Maybe say it again.
Okay. When you called me,
Yeah.
you literally said, "Hang on a minute, I'm just sitting on a curb."
Oh, right. That's exactly right. I was playing basket. That's that's right.
And I hung up the phone and I went, I just gave my credit card to a guy who said he's sitting on a curb.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
went, but I think I'm okay. I think
uh,
I'm okay with it.
wow. Well, I'm glad you got that about us because yeah, I didn't want to lie and say that I'm sitting in the office right now because yeah, I was just playing
I talked to you at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night.
yeah, just playing basketball in the summer evening, and I just said, hey guys, I got a phone call I got to step away for, and yeah, that's
So cool.
awesome. Well, hey Michele, I will let you go now, and I say thank you so much for taking the time. This was a pleasure seeing you face to face, and yeah, I'm so excited to hear what the students think. I'm really liking the Spotlight series because again, people are just being able to connect the usernames to the face and just get a deeper feel of how this community is all about.
Yeah, it's a game changer. Like I said, it was a combination of meeting your family.
Yeah.
And that is huge.
Well, we're here for you. We're one big family. We may be on different parts of the planet, different parts of the country, but hey, with the internet, we're all connected here, and as you know, we're in touch. For any questions you have, that's what we'll be here for.
Oh,
awesome.
You'll get lots of them.
Yeah. I'm sure we will. That's good. Well, hey Michele, I'll let you go here for today. Yeah, thank you so much for the time, and yeah, hope you have a great rest of the day.
You too.
All right, good to talk to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.